Today is fucking amazing. I have something to share with you that will change your fucking life for the better. This is is amazing shit, dude. This I just kind of stumbled into this. I'm gonna explain it in this video. By the end of the video, it'll be full explanation. And basically, what it's gonna do is enable you to be happy at all times, whenever the fuck you want, always at peace. You can actually become other people. Yes, I know. Fucking crazy shit. I'm going to share with you how you can actually be happy all the time, anytime you want. You can actually become other people without them even knowing it or giving you permission. You just do it. It's to give you the ability to have a deeper experience in life and a more connected relationship with other people without even doing anything physical or on the outside. I know that's a lot to absorb or whatever, sounds like bullshit. This is 100% true, dude. This is some shit that will change how you live. And I took some notes on here just so I don't miss anything or whatever. My notes are totally sloppy. I'll probably still miss shit. I'm gonna make another video about it, but I'm just all excited about it right now and can't stop thinking about it, so I'm doing it on this live stream too. But basically what it comes down to is a couple things. We have to break stuff down. It'll take a couple of steps of explaining how and why and how and why this works and what it is from the root. And so the first thing that we need to kind of like talk about or understand about ourselves, first off, the best thing to do is just erase everything you know. Let's just listen to what I'm going to say with an open mind, assuming that it might be true. Okay? So you have to listen with that in mind and don't know the answer to something before I say it. There's really no answer here, so I don't know how you can mess this up, but I just feel like saying that. It feels like it's important for you to have a clean slate. But what we, in life, as it is now, we basically live in order to have experiences or feelings, basically. What we do is we do all of our actions, everything that we do, in an understanding that what we do is going to cause somebody else to have our action will cause a reaction in other people, and that reaction will give us a feeling. We, through life, learn how that works, and we understand that our action, oftentimes this particular action will cause this other person to have a feeling, and that feeling's what I was hoping they would have, so that or it will cause them to have a feeling which will generate their reaction, and I wanted to receive that reaction from them because it'll make me feel something that I wanted out of that initial action that I made. And so feelings are super important. Okay, we live our life in order to stay in a feeling that we typically call happiness or peace or something. We don't want to live in a feeling of anxiety or depression or sadness or some shit, right? We would prefer to live in happiness. And so in our life, that's what we do. We try to get that feeling out of our actions. So we understand how action reaction causes feeling in us. And so that's something important to the human structure or purpose or whatever. Now, the thing about feelings is that feelings are something that are yours. And so we have to take ownership of our feelings, because it's not like I can just go and pick up a feeling and be like, oh, look, I found some happy and put it in me. No, dude, the happy's in there. You just have to dig it out or let it free. Same thing with upset, angry, anxiety, whatever it is. Those are your feelings. When you say you're happy, you say, I'm happy. That's right, because you're happy. I'm not making you happy or giving you a piece of happiness. I might be doing something that has a reaction in you that makes you up open up your happiness and let it out and let you experience it. But I don't have it in a jar. I can't just take it around and give that same happiness to somebody else because they might not get happy out of it. It doesn't open their jar of happy. The happy's in you, and you have to experience it yourself. We don't, go in and be like, oh, I'm going to get some happy. Let me go get some happy, right? We let it come out through natural experiences that generate that feeling in us that sometimes we can predict through the action-reaction feeling thing. But the feelings that we have are our feelings. I feel happy. I feel anxious, depressed, sad, excited. Whatever it is, you feel your own feelings, and nobody around you is feeling that necessarily. You can be having this completely different feeling than everybody around you. So they're your feelings, and you have some kind of control over them coming to the surface and enjoying them in their form, whatever that is. The happy form is what we like to get, I think. And so feelings are something that we pretty much gear our lives around, and we try to dig up our happiness. I even have a video called Happy Feel Good Energy, in a theory that we're a tool made by God in order to dig up happy feelings that he can then consume or whatever to keep him happy. And we're just like digging up happy feel good energy to feed to God, and that's why it goes away. We get some, he eats it, and it disappears, and we got to go find some more. And we dig it up from within us, and he created us so that we would be these perpetual happiness makers for him. That's just a theory. It's called Happy Feel Good Energy. I made a video. I'll put a link in the description. But the happy feel good energy that we have is like this energy that's in us that we have some kind of control of letting out or not. And so the other thing, so what we're doing there is we're taking ownership and responsibility kind of for our feelings. Now, there are variables, and some things, like someone punches you, you're going to feel pain, which is a physical feeling, not an emotional one, but then that physical pain might make you feel emotional feelings that feels forced and hard to avoid, right? So it's not like you have 100% control over that situation, seemingly. So the other thing to consider, so that's feelings. We know they're important and something that we want, the good ones, right? And we don't want the ones that aren't good. And we have a little bit of control over releasing them, in the sense that somebody else can't just come and give us a cup of happiness. We have to find it in us and then enjoy it. Oh, there it is. Look, it feels good, right? Something like that. And so then the other thing the other ingredient in this recipe for fucking amazing shit that we're going to get to, okay? One step at a time. I got a couple of steps here to kind of put the ingredients on the table so that when I put it all together, it makes sense. So that's the feeling thing. The other thing is the aspect of time. Time's important because, let's break down time first. Breaking down time, we have the past, the present, the future. So, and then we have time slices or whatever. We've got centuries, decades, years, months, weeks, days, hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds, nanoseconds, whatever. Break it down into some sort of super little atom slice of time, right? But time is the thing, and it has little sections that we use to recognize and remember things from the past, or project on and think of things that are coming in the future. And then we also recognize the present date or whatever by what time it is and what day it is, and it's a couple seconds later, and then 15 minutes, whatever, from this time. So time is important because we reference it all the time, and we can think back on how that ties into happiness or feeling, and say, oh, I was feeling happy back then, or right now, or I can't wait until this Christmas is tomorrow, or whatever. It's excited anticipation of something that's happening in the future. And so that is an orientation of feelings within a time space. And so time is important as well. Because how long a feeling lasts, like in that happy feel good energy video, I was talking about how happiness, we dig it up, but then it goes away. Like God ate it or something. That's where I came up with that thought, is because happiness isn't containable, it seems. And you have to like find it, or like find a vein of it in you, like, oh look, I found some happiness, and then it goes away. And so time that happiness lasts is important. And so whether it happened in the past, the present, or the future is also something to consider. But to break down time for important reasons that we'll discover later, we have the past, the present, and the future. So if we talk about the past is something that already happened, and we can remember the incidents or the things that happened during that, and the feelings that we had during that time that already happened. But we're just remembering what happened. We're not having it happen to us right now. And then in the future, we have the things that are gonna happen, maybe, because those are maybes. So we can just think about how it might work, or wonder about it. And if it's something happy, we can have happy anticipation of it and be like, yeah, I can't wait. Or if it's worrisome, we'll be like worried about it or stress over it and have like anxiety over what's to come. And same thing with the past. Like if it was something that was sad in the past, you can think about it and be sad. If it was something that was happy in the past, you can think about it and be happy. Or if it was, something that's depressing, you think about it and it's depressing. But that's something from the past. And so then you have the present. And the thing that's weird about the present is that when you're reflecting on the past or the future, you're actually doing it in the present. And so the present seems to be like the most important time within time span, because the present is really the only time anything actually happens. Everything else is just a memory or a thought. And so it's like the time that, it's like the needle that touches the record, and it's not actually the record or the needle, it's the connection between the two. It's like this little sliver of time that's almost impossible. It's like the opposite, it's like the infinite smallness. It's like an atom slice of time. Okay, an atom is like the smallest thing that we know of, or the little particles in the atom, I don't know, whatever. It's like a slice of atom time. It's so small it almost doesn't exist. Like when we think of eternity or infinity, our mind typically goes to, or at least mine wants to attach it to something large that goes on forever, that's like a distance that's forever, an expansion that's forever, numbers that go forever, or something like that. I tend to reflect on something large when I think of infinity. But infinity also goes the other direction in the small side of things. And so this is the infinitely small amount of time that almost doesn't even exist in any containable measurement. Like there's not a measurement for the present. There isn't one. It's like it just happens, and it's there's no measurement for it. It's called the present, but that's it. There's not, like when we're living in the present, it feels like it's bigger than that instant, because it's so instantaneously rolling through time that it's like this progressive growing thing, but it actually is just a freaking sliver of instance. It's like, I'm going to call it this atom slice of time. And so the present is when everything happens. If you're thinking about the past, you're thinking about it while you're in the present. And so that's your present slice of time. That's what you're experiencing. You're experiencing what you're thinking about that already happened. Or you're thinking about what could happen in the future. But you're thinking about those things in the present, and actually as the thought is coming out, the present is changing to the next atom slice of time. The present never contains anything. It only is action. It's not containment of anything. So it never stays what it is. It is uncontainable and immeasurably small. I don't know how else to say it. It's almost like a wormhole or something. And so the reason that time slice being so small is important, I'll get to in a minute. But time is important because it has an endless beginning and an endless end, and we're right in this invisible present that, like, it's like time is everything. It's so massive, it's endless, and we live in this sliver of it that doesn't exist. That's fucking insane, dude. It's like it doesn't exist. It's not encapsulated. It exists for the time that it is, but then it's the past. As soon as it comes out, it's the past. So you can't capture it. You can't contain it. So it's infinitely small, and I'll get in a minute. I'll explain why that's so important. Okay. So the other thing that we're going to talk about that's important in this process of changing your vision of life, or whatever your experience in life, to being absolutely insane, unimaginably awesome, and you're in 100% control of every single thing that happens in your life, is the next ingredient to that is going to be focus. Now, focus is super important. This is part of life that everything that requires mental focus ends up providing you some sort of a benefit. When you study, you're focusing. When you're working out, you're focusing. When you're doing like yoga or sports, or you're at your job, or you're focusing. Okay, when you're writing something, okay, you're doing art. All of this stuff requires focus. Almost anything that turns out some kind of a benefit of it requires you to focus on something in that present atom slice of time to greater yourself for the next atom slice of time that's coming in the future. But it seems like you focus on things in order for you to get a benefit. That's like a natural occurrence that happens. It's just something that it's like part of the process. Focus equals benefit or growth or capability or something like that. And so focus is, we can do all those focus things like study, workout, yoga, all these things. Another form of focus. Each one of those things focuses on a different thing. Like study focuses on your book smarts or your mind's ability to understand a certain topic. Working out focuses on your physical body. Yoga, mind and body connecting to themselves. Sports, same thing. Physical ability, mind and body doing what it needs to do. Job, art, writing, all these things. Okay, another one of those categories is meditation. So meditation focuses on the mind 100%. It's not mind and body, it's mind and mind. It's your mind understanding itself, attempting to understand itself, listening to itself so that it can understand itself. And having a greater understanding of itself provides you benefit in use of your mind. And so when you have a greater use and control of your mind through meditation, you're going to experience benefits from that. And this is one of those things that we're leading up to. So in meditation, though, when I was introduced, I've heard of meditation, and I kind of stumbled into meditation because I haven't ever there's something called a mantra in meditation, which is basically a small phrase or some words that you say that have deep meaning to you or something like that. And you just repeat them in your mind until you enter this state of meditation. But for whatever reason, I tried it a couple times and I just feel silly or something. It just doesn't work. It doesn't feel natural, or it feels like I need too much time of peace and quiet to get to the state that I thought I needed to be in using a mantra. So it didn't ever work for me. Although, to be honest with you, I didn't really try it a lot. I just did minimal amounts of trying and had minimal interest in going past that until I stumbled upon something that led me into meditative state, that I ended up continuing to do, which was what I call the mirror technique. And I just one time just got out of the shower and I went up to the mirror and I stood there and stared at myself really close, and ended up going into a meditative state. Like, you stand really close to the mirror and look yourself dead in the eye and don't turn away and don't blink until your reflection becomes a living person in your mind. It feels like you're standing right in front of somebody else that is you, and you're looking dead in the eye to this person, and all of a sudden you get into a state in your mind that's like a meditative state where you're basically asking yourself questions and answering them truthfully, like you already know everything. It's just the world kind of confuses you into not necessarily trusting the things that you already know. And when you get into this mirror technique meditation, those questions are all obvious and answered, and you can even find out what God is, what you think God is. Everything that you know is in your eyes, and you can ask yourself those questions of anything, and you'll tell yourself the answer according to what your mind understands it as. And potentially that answer's coming straight from God or straight from whatever the fuck is out there. The meaning of life, who knows? But that led me into a meditation experience that I really enjoyed and was able to enter in a shorter period of time than it seemed to take using a mantra. And that's what opened me up to meditation and made me, or enlightened me into doing it on a regular basis. And so as time went on, I kind of stumbled onto, I guess, a different technique of that succeeded for me to enter into meditation state, which was the absorption of light. I was laying in bed and it was dark, but there's still a little bit of light coming in from whatever hallway or whatever down the, there's a little bit of ambient light in the room, and I can still see the ceiling, and just, like colors or some sort of weird just colors, I guess. And it made me recognize how light is entering my eyes, and then it goes into my brain, and there's this connection point of light transforming into brainwave that I try to find in my mind. Like when I'm doing yoga and stretching, I locate that muscle using my mind, and then I tell it to relax so that it can pull it. Same thing with meditation. On the light thing, I would focus on the light coming into my eyes and everything I'm seeing, basically, and try to feel the transition of light to mind and locate that in my brain or my mind. And that led me into a really good meditation. Dude, that was like this really deep meditation that actually, it gets a little weird. Like, it feels almost like you're too deep or something. Like you might break your brain or something, because or for me, I was, the first time I did it, it was like just really deep, like being way down in the ocean and then realizing how deep you are in the ocean. Like, holy shit, I'm 10 miles down under the water or something. This is a little bit claustrophobic or whatever. Something could go wrong, right? Feels like. That's what that felt like the first time. But now I've done it a number of times, and I do it on a here and there basis, even driving down the street, and it works. And so the next thing that I came across that included meditation was sound, and the same process, the transfer of sound into my ear and converting it into whatever I'm feeling. And if I close my eyes, I can almost see the music, and it just is this fourth dimension of reality. Like, music has volume in space-time. Like, it's there. I don't know how to explain it, but I think you know what I'm talking about. That's what makes us dance. That's what makes us move, makes us bob our head. Air guitar. It makes you move. Something is controlling you through sound. So it's super powerful, and it's one of our senses. And so locating the transaction of sound into mental comprehension of that sound in my mind, same thing. Got into meditation. It's like this focusing on something that's a natural gift of your own And once you get into the core of that thing, you're in your mind so deep that you're in meditation, dude. And from there, you can take it into the next level, the next step, according to how you feel while you're there, and see where it takes you, and see what you think of and what you're experiencing while you're in that meditation. It's some really powerful shit, dude. And it's focusing, so it provides some kind of a mental understanding and or benefit to your experience of life. And so the meditation, that the little, lifespan of my meditation experience or whatever, started with the mirror thing, went to the light absorption, then sound absorption, and then the next thing is what we're talking about now. The next thing that I stumbled on with regard to focus and meditation is time focus. Time focus is extremely powerful. This is the most powerful focus I have ever encountered. And the reason it's so powerful is because it's the base of everything. Everything rests on time, including light, sound. It all runs through time. You can't encapsulate the entire song into one atom slice of time and absorb it all at once. It doesn't work like that. It is time. It has to go through time in order for it to exist. Time is existence. Time is everything. The past was, the future may be, the present is, and is the only thing that is. The atom slice of time that the present is never rests. It never stops. It never gets any bigger. It is always moving to the next atom slice of time that you can't even comprehend. It's infinitely short or small. It's down to the point of not existing. Why is that important? Why is it so important that atom slice of time, the present, the only thing that actually exists, true reality, is that atom slice of time, and it's so fucking small? Why is that important? It's so important that time in the present is almost nothing. It's so small you can't even comprehend how small it is. It almost doesn't exist. The reason that's important is because something that's small is easy to change or move. When you imagine things being larger, like when we think of the present, we kind of imagine everything we see and squeeze all that shit in. It's rolling, it can't be contained, it never stops, so it feels like the words we say are all in the present, even though actually the little vibration of sound that made it into that atom slice of time is, you can't even recognize it. If you were to take that one thing, it doesn't even fucking exist. Nothing is, you can't even measure the amount of sound wave in the present. It's like it disappears, dude. So it's so fucking small. What it is, it's actually you. You are time. Everything that's coming in doesn't happen until you allow it or make it or set it free or determine it or you drive it. You control it. You have control over the present. You're the only one who even knows it exists. You are time. Time can be felt, like passing through you, when you really focus on the fact that that atom slice of time is never stopped, and it is only the non-existent space between future and past. it becomes something manipulable. You can actually manifest it, your feelings in it. I can't make myself appear in a different country, maybe, but what I can do is focus on the exact atom slice of time that we're in any given time. Find what I feel about that and how it's happening and rolling through me as it happens, like music going through time. The moment that it's making a sound is already gone before it even happens. Same thing with your feeling in any one given atom slice of time. It's under your control as to how you want to feel if you put yourself into a place of recognizing the control you have over your feelings in that atom slice of time, which is basically nothing but your comprehension of what's happening in that atom slice of time. And you can locate that presence or existence in your mind and ride that atom slice of time according to what you want it to feel like. If you didn't know I was going to do that, did you? You did not see that coming. It went through. It's gone now. Am I doing that right now? No. Am I going to do it again? Nobody knows. You might be anticipating me doing it again, but it's not happening. You might be thinking about me doing it a second ago, but it's not happening. Did it happen? What am I talking about? How do you feel right now? How about now? How about now? Make yourself feel happy. See if you can focus on this exact time right now and feel happy. I'm doing it. Time's rolling past. You can do it too. It's not difficult. It takes practice. It takes confidence in yourself. It takes a belief that you can and an understanding of what we've talked about up to this point as to the feelings that we encounter in life and the time slice that goes through past, present, future, and the amount of time that the present actually is, which is nothing. It's not even anything. It's not actually time. We live in between time almost. It's like time comes into one ear, turns into our experience, and then it exits the other ear. But in that slice, while we're determining what the fuck it is, it's not actually anything. It's not encapsulatable. It's not a second. It's not a millisecond. It's not a nanosecond. It's fucking way smaller than any of those things. It's so small it doesn't exist. And so because it doesn't exist, it only exists in your mind. It only exists how you want it to. You are determining how you feel every time you feel something. You're allowing or accepting or making yourself, opening yourself to allow those feelings to happen. If you really pay attention to the atom time slice that you're in any given time slice, any moment of time, and really pay attention to what you're feeling at that time and how you're feeling it, and feel yourself moving through time and that feeling changing during that section of time as it moves, what's going to happen is you're going to feel time move through you. Time enters you. What does it feel like? It feels like the present. Then it leaves you. Well, now what does that time that you experienced feel like? It feels like the past. We anticipate time coming into us and we call that the future. But it's only anything while it's the present. And it can change. The future can change at any moment. Just like that whatever the fuck I said a second ago that nobody knew was going to happen. Life can do that too. And however it feels is up to you. Now it might have throw a rock at me type of instant reaction feel that you might think is not controllable, but the closer you pay attention, the closer you listen, the louder it gets. Okay, so, and that's true with anything. The closer you listen, the louder it gets. And so once you start paying attention to this atom slice of invisible time called the present, and realize that every single split moment of time is something that you can change how you feel and control how you want to feel about whatever's happening. For an example, people will always have stress. Well, okay, I don't want to say always, but people have stress. Okay, so the next time you're having a stressful situation, do this. Recognize your atom slice of time and how it's happening and passing through, and how it's only feeling the way you're allowing it to feel. Try to feel different about that atom slice of time while you're in a stressful situation. And you'll start to recognize time and how it's passing, and that situation is under your control as it passes, and eventually the situation will end, and you'll still be in your atom slice of present time in full control of how you feel about whatever it is you're doing or experiencing. This is 100% true. The next level of this is even bigger. So once you get to a point of focus on atom time slice and recognize your position, your responsibility for your own feelings, and your ability to control those feelings, and you can feel time moving through you, you'll know when this happens. You're going to be ready for the next level. The next level is something that involves other people. You can actually become other people without their permission, without their knowledge. You can become them, and I'll explain what I'm talking about. This is how I recommend doing it. The next time you're with someone you love, the more you love this person, the better. If it's your best friend, whatever it is, or your children, your whatever, your grandma, who knows. Anybody that you love, love, love so much. The next time you're having time with them, you're experiencing time with them. Focus on that atom slice of time and realize how it's passing through you. Get to the place in your mind where you're feeling time pass through you. While you're with that other person, and while you're with that other person in your state of meditation through time slice recognition and feeling time pass through you, you'll be able to access their time slice. Put yourself in their time slice and feel what they must be feeling while they're having the experience that you're with you, feeling your energy and getting happy about it, and you're feeling their energy and you're enjoying it and happy because you guys love each other. If you focus on and try to become their time slice and experience their emotion in the situation while it's happening, you will succeed. What's going to happen is you will become that person if you try hard enough and you focus on it. You will experience everything that they're experiencing while they're with you. They won't necessarily know you're doing this. Maybe they do, I don't know. But you'll be able to feel and experience their version of the atom time slice in the presence of your atom time slice. You will connect with them spiritually. This connection that you have and this recognition of time slice being shared between you and this loved one is going to be the deepest experience in life that you'll be able to have with regard to feeling happiness, understanding, peace, unity. We live our lives alone, and it's you're born alone, you live alone, you die alone, and everything that's happening in your head in your time slice of time, your atom time slice, is only being felt by you up until this point. if you do what I'm saying, you will be able to enter that person's being and their atom time slice and fully experience how it feels to be that person in your presence while you're enjoying each other's time slice at the exact same moment and feeling the same emotions or similar emotions because of that love that you have for each other. This is something that is it's hard to believe. Okay, I get it. It's not something that's like, oh yeah, sweet dude, I'm gonna go totally like, jump in my loved one's mind space and just totally be them. Yeah, right, dirty honey. Shut up, dude. Believe it, bro. Don't not believe it. How about that? Go ahead and try it. Try it. Do all the things that I was talking about in this video so far. And it will work. It does work. I guarantee you it works. You will be able to control your emotions and have any experience you want, any feeling you want about any situation that's happening at any time. If you're headstrong enough. Life can throw some pretty hard rocks, and if it does, it is what it is. You're allowed to have emotion and cry and do things like that. Nobody said you're not. But you don't have to. You can feel however you want to feel. And sometimes you want to feel those other things to release whatever your body needs to get out. But the focus on those things after they've happened, or the anticipation and anxiety of things that might happen in the future, isn't necessary. It's something that is up to you. And the way you feel about those things and how much you focus on them is up to you. Because you do understand that what you focus on generates a feeling in you or unlocks a feeling in you. And so if you focus on something and then make feelings happen, that will become a natural thing. And it will become something much easier to do, like riding a bike. So, okay, so this is another thing to do, is another way to kind of locate your atom time slice. You can look at anything random. Just look at whatever you want. Look at something, an object. And focus on that object and recognize how you're focusing on it right now. And just no emotions involved anywhere. It's just a cup or something. You're looking at a table, right? It doesn't mean anything to you. It's just an object. You're focusing on this object and recognizing, without any other crazy distractions or noise or loud things happening, you're recognizing how you're feeling during that moment of whatever. I'm looking at this cup. How do I feel about it? And you're recognizing your feeling. You have to focus on that. Find that path that leads you to the location where time turns into experience. There's a place on this side and on that side. Time comes in, time exits, right in the middle, somewhere in there. You have the combustion chamber where that's all happening. Finding that location in your mind is key. And so little techniques like this, just finding something random object and trying to focus on how you're feeling about it, and then generate a feeling about it and see if you can get happy about a cup. You can. Okay, it's actually easier to dig up happiness than it is to dig up sadness. Sadness or anxiety or things like that, maybe it is. Everyone's different, I'm sure. But it seems for me, happiness is easy to find, and I can dig in there and just be like, boom, and make myself feel happy. I know how to generate it. I can make myself happy if I want to. And when I'm in a stressful situation, that's what I do. I focus on how I'm experiencing it, I'm reacting to it. I can act however I want according to this. This might be irritating the shit out of me, but it's atom time slicing through. It's going to end. I need to figure out how to react to this calm, peaceful, happily. And still be happy, calm, and peaceful at the end of the situation when these time slices pass through. And accessing that location in your mind is seemingly easier, or I don't know if it's easier, but a technique to try and practice on is just a random object that doesn't generate emotion already, so that you can generically or synthetically add an emotion to something that doesn't necessarily bring emotion naturally. You know, that way, when there's, if you do it on this blank slate thing, when it's happening and you're actually generating the emotion, it'll be easier to locate that and then kind of feel where it came from, so that you can triangulate, I guess, your mind and where you find your happiness to bring to the surface. And then the other side of that is when something's stressing you out, like I just talked about, do the same thing. Find yourself in this moment of stress and control your feelings. Make yourself feel unstressed about it. Just not even talk yourself out of what it is. Just force yourself to feel something. And you'll be able to do it. You'll be able to do it. Okay? This is something that is definitely, it's there. It's like music. We do experience life in an atom time slice that is uncomprehendibly small, which makes it very easy to move and alter. When something's big, it's hard to change. When it's really tiny or almost doesn't even exist, it's up to you. It's not even a thing. It's a fucking thought that you make. It's 100% you. So it is what you are out of the situation we call life and or time as it passes. And so you're capable and responsible and able to do and feel however you want. So that is about it. I think I touched base on everything that I wanted to. Physical contact is not necessary for this either. You don't have to necessarily be around people. And when you're doing the becoming somebody else thing, it doesn't have to be a best friend. It doesn't have to be. That just makes it a lot easier, because it's easier for you to tap into what they're feeling when you're sharing that feeling with them. It's almost like you entered their time slice through your time slice. And the experience, because you're both having it, must be similar. And it makes it a lot easier to locate their time slice within this other dimension or some shit. Because that's kind of what happens when you get into this time slice. You're in space-time dimension or something. Like, this is something that is in that atom slice of time that doesn't exist because it's so small. And there's a whole world in that atom slice of time. And if everything is what it appears to be, we're all on the exact same atom slice of time. You're experiencing your experience right now, and now it's gone, and now it's gone, and now it's gone, and so am I, at the exact same time. So that uniformity of time that we're on is what allows you to access that other person through time and atom time slice or whatever into their experience and become somebody else. What you can do with that, I have not discovered yet, but I'm pretty sure that once I get better at this and continue to do it, I'm going to have more updates, and maybe I'll start. For all I know, mind readers are real, and this is the technique they use. Maybe palm readers actually do this to access your mind and get an inkling as to what the hell is really going on in there, and they're just not telling anybody. Maybe people that run the world all do this shit with maybe they don't even know they do it, and they're just naturally good at it. It's how they live, and they're ultra mega successful, run the worldy type people because that's how they were built, with easy access to their atom time slice comprehension and ability to control their emotion within that fragment of atom time slice. So I think that's it. I really highly recommend that everybody try this. Make sure that you be nice. Listen to 91.5 FM on the radio, KUSC.org on the internet, and focus on your time slice as that beautiful music passes through your existence. And you can replay it in your head over and over and over again in your current atom time slice whenever you want. And make sure you subscribe. Tell a friend. Tell a friend, dude. The mission of the month is to tell a friend and make sure they subscribe too. watch all the videos, like, blah, blah, blah. All right, we'll see you guys next time. I'm going to make another video of this in the regular video zone, but this was the live stream version. I couldn't help myself. I had to share it with you today. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can with the answers. And we'll see you tomorrow or whenever the next live stream lunch with Dirty Honey. Bye.